So, Nancy, welcome and thanks so much for agreeing to this.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, let's go straight into an extract from your book, Whispers for Terror. I'd like people who are listening to come straight into the thick of the forest and the action with you. So, over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to read an extract that is about Mary, the main character. She works in healthcare and she really needs some quiet space. And often after work, she walks into the woods where she sits by this tree that she's named Matt, just because she has found him comforting to be with. So I'm going to read that extract. I got to my log and sat for a time. Matt was there as a sentry to my path. As I closed my eyes, letting go of the day, I heard the woodpecker's tap tap and the squawk of a crow. Opening my eyes, I gazed at an ant working to carry a piece of leaf home. That was when I heard it coming from far away, the wind, and realized a blast of wind was working its way through the trees, causing everything along the way to silence and brace. It slammed my back, pushing me forward so that I had to hold on to the log to stay on it. The wind rushed past me, causing Matt's home to bend. I heard cracks as some dead branches fell to the ground. It was gone. I could hear it move on, and stillness returned. What the hell was that? I found myself noticing other trees, and for a flash, saw sparks among them. Not fire sparks, light sparks, being released as if fireflies had been born from them. They traveled from one tree to the next, intermixing. Then they were gone. I tried to recapture the experience, but whatever the wind brought forth was over.
So there's this real sense, I think, in the book of the world of the trees and the world of the humans kind of interweaving. You've done something really bold in the book, I think, and something I really love about it, which is to have trees as characters. I wonder if you could share a little bit more about how that came to be.
When I was writing, there's been one tree in my own yard for years. And I've lived in this house for over 20 years. And gradually other characters, other faces start to emerge. And I'm sure it's the way the elk or the deer kind of chew on the bark, or the birds, peck at it. But it's just incredible to me that it's like, have they always been there? Or am I just finally waking up to them? Did I just notice them? And they've always been saying, hey, look at me. And so they're really in my own yard, and they do have personality to me. My husband sees the whole tree as having a persona, and I see the faces, and their faces communicate to me, not in words, but they have like personalities to them. So that's really where it stems from, and the inspiration. And I've recently had two new faces emerge over the past couple months. And I'm like, one I can only see at certain time of day and the right time of lighting. And another one is just so apparent to me. But I must say that typically I have to kind of tell other people.
To other people, yeah.
But then they're like, oh yeah. So that's how it came about.
Thank you. This whole sense for me of the human community and the tree community working together is another theme of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, Nancy, it's obvious to me that community is important to you as an ethos, and I'd be interested in, how that's inspired you really in Whispers for Terror.
Well, I've always believed in community, and I don't think I always identified it as that. Growing up, attending parochial school and that sort of thing, I wasn't particularly churchy after that, but I spoke with a friend who's in her 80s now, and she's just such a sage and a mentor to me, and she helped me understand that my neighborhoods are my community. And we've always developed friendships wherever we've lived with our neighbors, and always had kind of a strong community. And then I've always treasured friendships. And sometimes I have a wide circle of acquaintances and friends, and some very deep friendships. And I think that's always helped to lift me up, keep me going when I self-doubt. And this book Journey was an example of that, that I had friends that just were always right there with me as part of this journey and would keep me going when I would feel like I'll never get this done, or I can't do it, I don't know what I'm doing, sort of experience in my debut novel. And that community was important. And then as they kind of like were like, this is going on for a long time, new people would come in and be excited for me. And so and I think anytime we try to take on something new, we particularly need that community, however we find it. And Mary in the book definitely needs that. She doesn't have the belief she can do what she is being asked to do. And she meets this group of people that really also kind of share her interest and passion and bring different gifts to being able to help her do this. And then once she develops her sense of confidence in it, this other little subgroup emerges that are also carrying the same mark that she does, and she helps them find their voice and be able to move forward in carrying it to a more expansive movement. So the sense of community kind of develops and then gives back on itself again, which I think is what really is wonderful about community.